Tonight on SRU Nightly News, Democrats are taking control of the Senate, but will that be the case after the 2024 presidential election?
Also, Hakeem Jeffries is expected to succeed Nancy Pelosi as the leader of the Democratic Party.
Later in the show, streaming prices continue to rise as we move into 2023.
And finally, mass shootings continue to run rampant through the nation. We have the devastating numbers in most recent incident.
All this and more on SRU Nightly News. Welcome to SRU Nightly News. I'm Brandon Pierce.
And I'm Nia Moore-Harris. Hakeem Jeffries is expected to succeed Nancy Pelosi as the leader of the Democratic Party.
On November 17th, the first woman to be elected Speaker of the House announced her plans to step down as the top House Democratic leader. This announcement came after the Republicans won back the House after the 2022 midterm elections. Pelosi served 2 terms as Speaker, first from 2007 to 2011, and then again from 2019 until 2022. During Pelosi's first term as Speaker, she participated in the passage of landmark bills, including the Affordable Care Act, the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and the Reinvestment Act of 2009. As we previously reported, Pelosi will now pass the gavel to Republican Kevin McCarthy.
Today marks a new chapter in this House pursuit of a more perfect union. The country knows Nancy Pelosi as an experienced leader with 3 decades of service in Congress, a fighter for her causes, and a true trailblazer. Even when we disagree with one another completely, it is important to remember that we are bounded together in a common cause, our love for America.
According to The Hill, both Republican Senate nominee Herschel Walker and Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock are tied in the race for the Senate. We are less than a week from the runoff election, which will take place on Tuesday. Early voting has already started in Georgia, while both candidates have strong ties with their base. Analysts predict that Senator Warnock will take the election by 4% with the help of independent voters. Historically, the last time a 50-50 runoff occurred was in 2001.
On Tuesday, November 29th, the Senate passed the Respect for Marriage Act. This legislation would protect the same-sex and interracial marriage. In what CNN labeled a landmark bipartisan vote, the final tally was 61 to 36, with all members of the Democratic caucus with 12 Republicans in support. The House, who is expected to pass the bill before the end of the year, will then send it to President Joe Biden to be signed into law.
Protesters in China took the streets in several cities over the weekend calling for President Xi to step down over China's zero-COVID strategy. China is set to enter its 4th year under the zero-COVID strategy, which is meant to decrease the chance of spreading the virus, while causing the least amount of disruption to citizens' everyday life. This spring, however, millions of citizens were placed in mandatory lockdowns, which caused food and medical shortages and a strain on the economic landscape. In October, President Xi granted himself more powers, some of which would allow him to be China's lifelong leader.
On November 24th, the French government approved a bill constitutionalizing the right to abortion. This constitutional change would guarantee equal access to the right of an abortion for up to 14 weeks. While women in France have had the right to an abortion since 1974, changing the constitution to recognize this right would make it more difficult for the law to be overturned in the future. The bill to amend the Constitution was approved with 337 votes to 37. When we return,
Averi will give us our Rock Sports update.
And finally, the SRU presidential search. Who are the candidates and when will they be on campus?
Introducing Domino's new leftovers. It's the same delicious pizza you expect from Domino's, but instead of eating it all tonight, you save some for tomorrow. Sure, it's hot and melty and really delicious, but resist the temptation and you have Domino's leftovers. Domino's leftovers are delicious straight from the toaster oven. They're delicious straight from the skillet.
Who reheats cold pizza?
Right now, you can try Domino's leftovers yourself and you get 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each. Enjoy one tonight, love one tomorrow.
Welcome back. In our last episode, we informed you of a shooting that took place on the University of Virginia campus. This horrific event marked the 599th mass shooting in the United States in just 2022. Between then and now, 17 additional mass shootings have been recorded by the Gun Violence Archive. Specifically, 32 lives have been lost to the gun violence since November 14th.
The most recent shooting took place near Florida A&M University in Tallahassee. A 20-year-old male identified as Travis Huntley was killed and 4 others were injured. Amongst the injured was a 16-year-old boy. None of the victims were identified as students of Florida A&M.
It is always a smart idea to be prepared for situations like these. PASHE, of which Slippery Rock University is a part of, has some guidelines as to what to do in the event of an active shooter. In an active shooter situation, many schools and institutions refer to ALICE training, which stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate.
Alert. Notify people in the daily. Accurate information to responders about the situation. Counter. Challenge the attacker and regain control, but this is to be a last resort if you are unable to do any of the other steps. Evacuate. Remove yourself from the area as soon as it is safe to do so.
If you're in a position to evacuate your location during an active shooter, you should follow these steps. Notify anyone you encounter, also to leave immediately. Do not activate the fire alarm, disperse individually, and do not congregate in groups. And finally, contact University Police at 724-738-3333 and provide them with as much information as possible. Now, we will take it over to Averi with our Rock Sports Update.
Thank you, Naya. Rock football season has come to an end. In the second round of the playoffs, Slippery Rock lost to Shepherd University with a score of 27-37, ending their season with a record of 10 wins and 3 losses. Men's basketball faced off against the University of Charleston this past Saturday. They won with a score of 73-59, now with a record of 5 wins and 0 losses. Their next game will be against Shepherd University on Friday, December 2nd at 7:30 p.m. in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. Women's basketball faced off against Fairmont State University this past Sunday. They won with a score of 86-82, now with a record of 5 wins and 1 loss. Their next game will be against Shepherd University as well on Friday, December 2nd at 5:30 p.m. in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. That's all for your Rock Sports Update. Now we will take it back to Brandon and I at the desk.
Thank you, Averi. SRU is still completing the process of searching for the next president to replace Dr. William Berry. Open forums for each of the 4 remaining candidates began on November 29th and will continue through December 2nd. Different forums are open to faculty, students, and community members. The 4 candidates in consideration are Chance Glenn, Karen Riley, David Jones, and Murda Martin. These 4 candidates were narrowed down by the SRU Presidential Search Committee based on all received applicants.
Coming up, Disney has rehired Bob Iger as the CEO of the company. This and more when we come back from our commercial break.
Introducing Domino's new leftovers. It's the same delicious pizza you expect from Domino's, but instead of eating it all tonight, you save some for tomorrow. Sure, it's hot and melty and really delicious, but resist the temptation and you have Domino's leftovers. Domino's leftovers are delicious straight from the toaster oven. They're delicious straight from the skillet.
Who reheats cold pizza?
Right now, you can try Domino's leftovers yourself when you get 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each. Enjoy one tonight, love one tomorrow.
Welcome back. Protests at Foxconn, the biggest factory for the Apple iPhone in China, have created delays for the newest model. The police in Zhengzhou kicked, hit, and shoved protesters who had walked out over pay disputes. One man was kicked to the ground after grabbing onto a bar he was being beat with. According to the Associated Press, the dispute occurred due to false hiring advertisements, where workers were promised 24,000 yuan, which is the equivalent to $3,500 for 2 months of work. When workers arrived, they were informed that they would be working for 2 months at a reduced rate before they were eligible to receive the 25,000 yuan after an additional 2 months. Foxconn is the largest contract assembler for smartphones and other electronics.
Both Disney and ESPN lost 2 million subscribers this fiscal year at 74 million subscribers. The 2 cable networks are the Walt Disney Company's largest cable networks. The subscriber loss reflects the media industry's struggle to meet and satisfy audience needs to the era of streaming. Disney also lost $4 billion in its direct-to-consumer services last year. And just this week, Disney purchased the Major League Baseball's remaining 15% share in Disney streaming for $900 million. This acquisition was made under the leadership of the newly reinstated Disney CEO Bob Iger.
While on the subject of Disney, this year, Disney+, Netflix, Hulu, and Apple TV all announced price increases set to take effect in the near future. This is after Netflix had already increased its prices $2 per plan in January of this year. Of the most expensive is the premium plan, which costs $19.99 per month. As streaming series become more relevant and popular over basic TV, people will soon have to choose between paying more per service or giving up certain shows. Many people switched to streaming because it was economically the better choice over basic TV. However, as prices continue to surge, viewers will be back paying those original prices. For reference, in 2011, a standard Netflix plan was only $7.99 a month compared to the current cost of $15.49 a month. Final Seasons is right around the corner, and we have some fun events to help de-stress. We will talk about that and more after this commercial break.
Introducing Domino's new leftovers. It's the same delicious pizza you expect from Domino's, but instead of eating it all tonight, you save some for tomorrow. Sure, it's hot and melty and really delicious, but resist the temptation and you have Domino's leftovers. Domino's leftovers are delicious straight from the toaster oven. They're delicious straight from the skillet.
Who reheats cold pizza?
Right now, you can try Domino's leftovers yourself when you get 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each. Enjoy one tonight, love one tomorrow.
Welcome back. If you're a student traveling home for winter break, our bus is offering a discount to students for their first ride. If you're traveling to Pittsburgh, Bedford, Harrisburg, Philadelphia, New York, or King of Prussia, you are eligible for the discounted offer. Our bus is offering 20% off your bus ticket using the promotion code SlipperyRock20. Tickets can be purchased using our bus app, which you can download using the QR code on the screen.
Finals week is coming up, and students are more stressed than ever. During this time, make sure you are taking care of yourself. If you need something to take your mind off the test and projects you are preparing for, think about going to get some of the events that are going on hosted on campus in the upcoming week. More on the events you can attend right after the weather with Trevor Mann.
Thank you. Trevor here with your weather report, and it looks like we're heading into another very chilly week. Let's take a look at this week's highs and lows. Friday right over here, it seems to be very windy with a high of 46 and a low of 24. Saturday, right here, some rain throughout the day with a high of 54 and a low of 28. Sunday, we have a high of 37 and a low of 23. Monday, right over here, looks like we're heading to another rainy day with a high of 49 and a low of 28. Tuesday, we continue to have rain until the afternoon with a high of 50 and a low of 32. Wednesday, we have a high of 36 with a low of 27. And Thursday, right around the corner, we have a high of 33 and a low of 24. This has been your weather report with Trevor for the upcoming week. Back to Brandon and Naya at the desk.
If you are looking for a good laugh during the stressful period of finals week, then you should check out the Improv Club Show. Laughs will be had, tears will be shed, and any preconceived notions about what you can make up on the spot will be shattered. Come check it out on Friday, December 2nd from 6 to 7 in the Shealy Theater located in Maltby.
The Green and White Society is hosting their annual Moonlight Breakfast at Boozle. On Monday, December 5th from 9 to 11 p.m., students are encouraged to come and enjoy a late-night breakfast before the chaos of the final weeks begin.
Coming up, creator of the Peanut, Charles Schultz's 100th birthday. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Introducing Domino's new leftovers. It's the same delicious pizza you expect from Domino's, but instead of eating it all tonight, you save some for tomorrow. Sure, it's hot and melty and really delicious, but resist the temptation and you have Domino's leftovers. Domino's leftovers are delicious straight from the toaster oven. They're delicious straight from the skillet.
Who reheats cold pizza?
Right now, you can try Domino's leftovers yourself when you get 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each. Enjoy one tonight, love one tomorrow.
Welcome back. For more than Marionettes have continued to bring joy and laughter to both children and adults alike. Debuting in 1947 as Little Folks, Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and Friends would go on to receive their famous name in 1950.
According to Schultz, Schultz is able to write about the actual emotions that kids feel, but was able to express these emotions with humor. Charles Schultz would have turned 100 years old on November 26th. That's all we have for you tonight, Slippery Rock.
Good luck on finals week and have a good night.